get a couple runs across. 1 run, now it's 3-1. 2 runs, now it's 3-2. Maybe they can do it. Nah, they didn't do it. They didn't. They lost 3-2. Hello. If you're listening to the sound of my voice or seeing my face here on the internet, then you've made it to the Booth Review Podcast. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm honored that you're spending the next 30 to 45 minutes, probably closer to 45 minutes with me talking about sports, whatever I want to talk about here. Welcome to my apartment here in Auburn. I got my lovely Auburn t-shirt curtains that my mom made for me. These are all my old t-shirts, so I've had a lot. I have another curtain just like it right there. So suffice to say, I have a lot of Auburn t-shirts. This is Booth Review Podcast episode number 3. Episode number 1 was an audio-only one. It went up on the website. Episode 2 suffered a lot of technical difficulties and kind of got lost in the internet. So episode 2, whatever. Episode 3, this is what I'm calling today. Even though it's probably more like episode 2, but I'm calling it 3 just so it doesn't confuse me. So here we go. Hopefully I don't have too many issues getting this up. I would like this to go up Wednesday afternoon before all the games start, so that way it's still relevant. But already had my technical difficulties for recording this. This is actually the 3rd time I'm trying to record it. I've had an issue when I press the end record button. It crashes, so hopefully when I finish recording this one, it doesn't crash and delete everything. But we'll see. So take 3, 3rd time's the charm. So let's get started. I'm going to start each show probably with a little headline section. We're just kind of just go through things, not talk about too long, but just kind of hit the high points of what's been going on in the last week. As many as you know in the sports world, and really anybody, if you turn on the TV in the last few days, then you know we've lost a legend on Friday. Muhammad Ali passed away, a great legend in himself, and calling him a legend might not even be just enough. He was so much more than a legend to the boxing world, to the entertainment world, to the fighting world as far as boxing, wrestling, MMA, all of it. It all started with Muhammad Ali as an entertainer, and we lost him now, and it's taking a huge hit. I'm a big fan of boxing. I've been to a boxing match myself. I loved it, and if it wasn't for things that Muhammad Ali did, and then for Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, George Foreman, Mike Tyson, wasn't for those guys, boxing and fighting where it is today would not exist. So it's sad to see him go, and he will for sure be missed. And as far as other sad news, we've lost another fighter in the same week. It's kind of eerie, but Kimbo Slice, also MMA fighter, not boxer. Kimbo Slice also passed away, known as a gentle giant, actually. And you wouldn't. It's kind of shocking if you look at him. He's a scary dude, but it's a guy who was not born in America, born in Nassau in the Bahamas, came to the United States, lost his house in the hurricane, made his life as being a security guard, and kind of got famous, discovered, if you will, by having these street fights. He'd just go out and fight people in the street, bare knuckle, and he kind of just made his living by doing that. And one thing led to another. He got discovered, joined the MMA, did not fight for long, didn't have a long career, but had a good career. And it's sad to see him go. He, from what I saw, a headline said it was heart failure, and he was on a transplant list, but just it did not happen. But it's sad to see him go. He will also be missed. But with that sad news done, No more sad news for the show, I promise. That's it. I don't want to talk about it anymore either. Next little headline is Marshawn Lynch, more commonly known as Beast Mode himself, has announced his retirement in an interview with E60, or 60 Minutes, I believe it actually was. E60, 60 Minutes. The 60 in there confuses me, so it's one of the two. He's retiring after a career. He's 30 years old. He had 2,100 carries, just over 9,000 yards, a 4.2 average, and 74 touchdowns. He did win a Super Bowl, but he did not reach that 10,000-yard mark, which I had a conversation earlier with a friend who asked me, is he Hall of Fame material? And it's a hard question if Marshawn Lynch is, if he is Hall of Fame material. Do I think he could potentially be in it? Yes. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. Of course not. I don't think so. And that 10,000-yard mark is a big benchmark for running backs to get to. So will he get in? I think he will eventually. If it's a year where it's kind of a weak class and his name's still out there, I could see him getting inducted. But if he doesn't get in, is it tragedy? No. If he does get in, is he a non-deserving person? No, not that either. If he gets in, he would deserve it, and if he doesn't, then it just didn't happen. So either way, I could see it going, but it'll be interesting to see what happens if he does get into the Hall of Fame or not. But he will also be missed out of the Seattle Seahawks, of course, getting a start at the Buffalo Bills, then going over to Seattle and earning the name Beast Mode because he is just so good. But that's it for my quick little headlines, just one after the other. But let's go ahead and get started. I got my notebook, as I always do, with my handwritten little talking points here. Let's get started with the U.S. men's national team. Copa America Cup is going on. It is in full swing. Group play is going on strong. Group A, United States group, lost game 1 to Colombia in a 2-0 loss. And you hear that and you think, well, U.S. team didn't play well, and that's not really the case. They played actually pretty well. They're more like playing for the draw, and so was Colombia for that matter. They weren't really playing for the win. They just got lucky, got a couple lucky bounces. The ball rolled their way a few times, and they were able to score and capitalize off of it. Unfortunate for U.S., they dropped the game, but that's okay. Colombia is a very good team, and Colombia will probably end up winning the group. Anyways, U.S. Game 2 against Costa Rica entered a must-win situation if they wanted to advance out of the group stage, and a win they got. Scoring early, Clint Dempsey, Bobby Wood drew a penalty in the box, and very early on, Clint Dempsey capitalized off the PK and scored there. Next, a few minutes later, Jermaine Jones, on the defensive side, got the ball turnover, passed back to Dempsey. Dempsey took it all the way down the outside of the box, actually tripped, accidentally passed it back to Jermaine Jones, and Jermaine Jones capitalized, sent it back in, scored 2-0. Later, Bobby Wood, who is a true striker for the U.S. men's national team, got the ball at his feet and instantly thought, shoot. And it was that kind of thought process that I saw out of a true striker, which is not something that the U.S. men's national team has a lot of. You know, there's a lot of players who are good at shooting, Clint Dempsey included, who is not a true striker. He is a good shooter. When he takes a shot, he makes it in a shoot, it's a good shot. But he has to think he's more of a passer, he's more of a midfielder than he is a forward. So Bobby Wood, being a striker, he got the ball at his feet, and he just turned and took a shot. And it was a quality shot, and it found the back of the net. So that was really exciting. I think he's going to be a really good player for the future. So that was really good. Then you got a 3-0 lead, and the U.S. Kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit after that, and then they should have. Yeah, it is a rivalry game, and I had a friend saying, dude, don't even let up. Let it keep going. But no, Jurgen Klinsmann, who actually, many said he was coaching for that game for his job. A lot of people were asking for his job, said he was on the hot seat, and 4-0 win kind of takes the hot coals from underneath that seat for a little while, but it's not over yet, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But he let a foot off the gas, subbed out from a few people, and Bobby Wood included. Graham Zusi replaced him, and reasons why I mentioned Graham Zusi replacing Bobby Wood is late in the game, Graham Zusi got in a counterattack, and ball landed at his feet. He also managed to score, so U.S. men's national team over Costa Rica gets the win at 4-0, and it was a solid win. Definite solid win. Good win for the U.S. men's national team. Doesn't really remove the coals from underneath Jurgen's seat or the team seat for that matter. Their next game against Paraguay is still a must-win game in order to secure that second place position for the group stage, to get out of the group stage. But can they do it? Yes, they have they have momentum right now, and that's something that's really big. They have a lot of momentum going in, but Jurgen Klinsmann is going to have to put a good team together, a good squad together, a good starting 11 together, and they're going to have to play as a team. The U.S. team does not play well against the press, so Costa Rica today actually uncharacteristically put on a press against the U.S. because they're not good at handling it, but the U.S. managed to handle it today and handled it very well, counterattacked very well, which is one of their strong suits in the counterattack. So look for Paraguay to see if they press or not. If they do press, how does the U.S. respond to that? And look for players like Bobby Wood, Clint Dempsey, and what they do, Jermaine Jones, what they do to respond, because it's going to be players like that that's going to have to win it, because we cannot just rely on the defense. Yes, the defense is strong, but if you want to win games, you've got to score goals. You've got to put the ball in the back of the net. So must-win game coming against Paraguay next still, but I think that all the momentum they learned against Costa Rica will carry them on out of the group stage into the elimination rounds. Next on the chopping block, though, next sport is the one of my personal favorites. Is hockey. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals going on, and it is overshadowed by the NBA playoffs, NBA Finals for sure, but it is still a big deal to me, and it seems to be closing out. The Penguins and the San Jose Sharks. Game 1, 3-2 in favor of the Pens. Game 2, 2-1 in favor of the Pens as well in overtime. Game 3, 3-2 in favor of the Sharks, playing back in San Jose. First game back for the Sharks. Sharks won that one in overtime. And Game 4 in San Jose as well was a 3-1 win for the Pens in regulation. And it should be known that the Pens are, yes, they lost a game, Game 3 in overtime, but the Pens are the much more dominant team right now. And myself included is surprised by that. I picked the Sharks at the beginning of the series to win, and, well, you can see how that's working out. You have the Pens with a 3-1 series lead and all the momentum in the world. But looking at it, and you see, a 3-2 win, a 2-1 in overtime, a 3-2 in overtime, and then a 3-1 win for the Pens. And I started looking at it, I was like, Pens won the first 2 games and the last one, and the Sharks won one in overtime. And I looked at it, and the Sharks actually haven't held a lead for any amount of time during these games. Their one win came in overtime, and the only time they had a lead is when they scored the overtime winner. So they haven't even held a lead in this entire series, and that kind of shows you right there that the Penguins are playing like the much better team. So, but to look at the stats, you can kind of see the game plan for these two teams. And for the Sharks, the game plan is to hit Penguins and hit them hard and, wear them out, physically wear them out. And they've been doing that very well. They've been hitting them anyways. Has it been wearing out the Penguins? It doesn't really seem to be, because the Penguins are still playing really well. But the Sharks have out-hit the Penguins in every single game. Game 4 was a 46-31 in favor of the Sharks in the hits column. And it's a good strategy, a good game plan, because when you get hit over the course of a 60-minute game, it takes a lot out of you. And it just unfortunately has not led to success for the Sharks. The Sharks' strong suit is their power play. is man advantages. If it's a power play, you get the 5-on-4 power play advantage. If it's not on a power play, it's those 2-on-1 breakaways. It's the 3-on-2. It's when they have man advantages, when they can make the defense have to make a choice, and when they have to make a choice, they usually capitalize on that. And they haven't had that many opportunities against the Penguins in this series. And the few opportunities they have been, the Penguins have stayed solid, and they've made good defensive plays and kept the Sharks from scoring. And the Sharks are a very elite scoring team. They score a lot of goals. And the fact that the Penguins are keeping them from scoring as much as the Sharks would like to shows me that Penguins are really dominating this series. And if you watch these games, it really looks like the Penguins are winning. And the scores might be close, but the play really doesn't seem it. The Penguins seem to be dominating every game. And actually, Game 4 is the first time that the Penguins didn't outshoot the Sharks. And that's the Penguins' game plan, really, is just to send rubber on net. They realize that the Sharks are an elite scoring team, and if the Penguins want to win this Stanley Cup final, they're going to have to score goals. And the way to score goals is just to send rubber. And you keep shooting, you shoot enough times, you give the goalie enough looks, you're going to find the net eventually. Eventually, one of the pucks will find the back of the net, and that's exactly what they've been doing. And they've been able to do that effectively. And for the most part, that's been the key for the Penguins. They've been outscoring and outshooting the Sharks, and they've been able to weather the storm, if you will, against the Sharks' hitting barrage against the Penguins. And I'm telling you, it's been a barrage. Game 3, I believe it was. Don't quote me. I believe it was Game 3, where the Sharks out-hit the Penguins. It was like 47 to 14. Like, it was insane. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the numbers were, actually. But the Penguins are able to hold that, and they're able to withstand that. And now they know what to expect. They said they're going to hit us, and that's okay. If we can still get the shots on goal that we want and get the scores we want, we don't care. And the Penguins are winning these games and are leading these games and having all the momentum in these games. And it's a 3-1 series in favor of the Penguins. Game 5, going back to Pittsburgh with that home crowd. And in hockey, more than any other sport, I think, the home ice is a huge advantage, more so than any other sport. When you're at home, that ice, it tilts in the home team's direction. And that home crowd at Pittsburgh is a hostile environment, and it's a hard one to win at. And I think going back, Game 5, 3-1 series lead, all the momentum in the world, you just took a 3-1 win at your opponent's home ice. Coming back home, can the Sharks win it? I don't think so. I really don't. And I think Game 5 is going to go in favor of the Pens. Pens win the Stanley Cup trophy at home in front of their home crowd. How much more perfect could it get for the Penguins? And there's really not much more there. It's just the Penguins are dominating the series. Maybe the stats don't show it and the scores are close, but if you watch it and if you watch hockey with any consistency, you look at it, you can kind of tell. It's really it's just the Penguins are just dominating the series. And I expect nothing less of that in Game 5. I expect the Penguins to win. I expect them to win big. I'll say 3-2 victory for the Penguins, Game 5, to take the Stanley Cup final trophy home with them. It stinks for the Sharks because I don't think they're gonna have it in them, but that's about it. But moving on to the other big final going on, which is kind of going the same way with a team just dominating others, NBA Finals. Golden State Warriors are completely dominating Cleveland Cavaliers. Have a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 is tonight in Cleveland, and it's obviously it's a must-win for Cleveland, but can Cleveland do it is the question. And I've been talking with my friends, and a lot of people are we're all conflicted. All of us have different opinions on what we think is going to happen. But before I get into my predictions, I'll just kind of sum up the series because it's been a while since I've been here. It's been a while since I've been able to inform you. And for those of you who forgot, Game 1, 104-89 for the Warriors. Game 2 is 110-77 for the Warriors, and that game wasn't even that close. It was a blowout for sure. a few of the key players. Kevin Love, who I will get to in a minute, went for 2 for 7, 1 for 4 from deep with 3 rounds and 5 points. LeBron James, 7 for 17 from the field, 1 for 5 from deep with 19 points. And Kyrie Irving with a very unimpressive and pedestrian 5 for 14 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep, and 10 points. As a team, the Cavaliers shot 35 from the field and 21% from deep. Kevin Love, when I mentioned that, is, he went 2 for 7 and 1 for 4 for 3 with only 5 points, but he did suffer an injury in that game, which was later ruled to be a concussion. For tonight's game, he is ruled questionable. I don't think he's going to play, though. I think they said questionable just because they want to make the Warriors have to prepare for it. So will he play? I doubt it, but does it really matter for the Cavaliers? Yeah, he's a big name, and will he be missed? Yes, he will, but has he been playing well? No, not at all. Not in this series anyways. Against Toronto, he had a couple games where he played really well. And going back thinking about that and what is the difference between those is Kevin Love got started early. And Kevin Love, a big thing with him is his confidence. And if he can get shooting early with confidence, then he performed really well. He did that against Toronto. He got started shooting early, got some three-pointers in, and he played really well in those games. But the games when he did not play very well. It's a very night and day effort for him. But now, not only will you not get the pedestrian performance out of Kevin Love, you might even have Kevin Love in Game 3. So then now it's on LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and who else? Is it J.R. Smith? Is it Tristan Thompson? Is it Channing Frye, who's somebody who I think should have a large impact? And if the Warriors are going to go down and lose to the Cavaliers, then Channing Frye is going to have to be a big part of that for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he hasn't been there. He only played 4 minutes the other night. He had played 4 minutes and went 0 for 1. He did nothing. You didn't do anything. You played for 4 minutes. You took one shot, and you didn't even make it. So, and he's a player who I think is a great pickup for the Cavaliers. He got him in free agency, and he gives that team some range. Him and J.R. Smith give the Cavaliers some range against the Warriors, which is what you need to beat a team like the Warriors. And he's not performing. And if the Warriors are going to lose any games in Cleveland, which I don't know if they will, but if the Cavaliers are going to win, J.R. Smith, Channing Frye are going to have to be a bigger part of it, especially with Kevin Love being out for who knows how long, probably only missing one game, but you don't know. You don't know how long it's going to be. And Kyrie Irving not playing very well at all. You're going to need someone else. Someone's going to have to step up. And I don't want to put it all on LeBron James, but someone's going to have to step up. And if it has to be LeBron James, then it has to be LeBron James. This is a guy who last year in the NBA Finals, without Kevin Love, without Kyrie Irving, scored 35, 37, 39, 40 points a game. And, yeah, he didn't win the NBA Finals, but they won games. And it was because LeBron James was like, this is my team. I'm the best player on this team. I'm the best player in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. He put it on the shoulders, and he went and did it. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. So if LeBron James is going to go there and say, you know what, I'm going to score 45 points a night. And if I'm going to score 45 points a night, then we win this game. If that's what it takes, then that's what he's got to do. If that's the mentality he's going to have, then do it. Go out there and do it. Score 45 points. Beat the Warriors. You're at home. You can do it. Do it. If that's the mentality it takes, then that's the mentality it takes. Because we know he can do it. He's done it before. He's got to go out there and do it. That shot for him right now is just the shots aren't falling for him, and that stinks. It's too bad. Get over it. This is NBA Finals. You're playing at home. You have a chance to get some momentum. I mean, you lost 110-77. That's pitiful. This is the NBA Finals. You can do better than that. Prove it. If you're LeBron James, you're the king. You think you're the best, go out there and prove it. Show me that you're the best. Score 40 points. Beat the Warriors single-handedly. You can do it. You've done it before. Do it now. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. But Kyrie Irving's got to be a bigger part of this game. He scored 10 points. LeBron James scored 19 points. Kevin Love scored 5 points. The three of them, if the three of them are playing, it was just Kevin Love. If Kevin Love's out and it's just Kyrie Irving and LeBron James and it's just the two of them. If the two of them are playing, they both have to score more. You got to score more points. You want to beat the Warriors, you have to score a lot of points. That's what it's going to take. You're not going to beat them in a defensive battle. So, all right. Enough about the Cavaliers. On to the Warriors. Steph Curry went 7 for 11 from the field, 4 for 8 from deep with 18 points. Klay Thompson, very similar stats, 6 for 13 from the field. The same 4 for 8 from deep for 17 points. And then Draymond Green went crazy. Got 11 for 20 from the field, 5 for 8 for deep, which is both better than both Curry and Thompson, with 7 rebounds and 28 points. The team, they shot 54% from the field and 45% from three. This is a team that is playing a team game. They're playing like a team. They're playing really well. Game 1, it was all about the bench. The bench scored 50-plus points in that game, and the bench carried them. Game 2, bench helped up a lot, but it was a Draymond Green show in Game 2. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson haven't really performed that well. They haven't. Game 1, they both played really bad, actually, I would say. Game 2, they played all right. 17, 18 points for Thompson and Curry, respectively. But that's just, that's not bad. Hey, but you're a 2-time MVP, Steph Curry, first unanimous MVP. This NBA Finals. Perform. Now, you're at home, and, I can't fault them too much. They just beat the ever-living daylights out of the Cavaliers. So, I can't complain too much about what they're getting because whatever they're doing, it's working. Obviously, they're winning. But you're about to go on the road, again, in Quicken Loans Arena, home of the Cavaliers. And as everybody knows in the NBA, the bench does not usually perform as well on the road, and you have to rely on your star players a little bit more. Star players, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Those three guys. And Draymond Green hasn't had a problem with this. He's coming off a series against OKC, against people having to be guarded by people like Kevin Durant, who is huge and massive and lanky, and it's hard. And then Steven Adams and Russell Westbrook. And these guys are guarding you. These guys are a lot bigger than anybody the Cavs have, except for LeBron James, really. So, again, coming off OKC, this is a little bit easier for Draymond Green because he's not having to compete with just raw size. So, it's not as big a challenge for him. So, he's performing. He's showing that he can do it. Now, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they got to show up, especially on the road. I'm expecting them they're going to have to show up if they're going to want to win. Now, will they win? How does this series go from here on? What are my predictions? In my heart tells me, in the way these games have been going, Cleveland's going to get swept. And nobody's really surprised by that. If you told me that before the NBA Finals had started, I'd be surprised. But I'm not. The way these teams are playing, they're not. Now, my head is telling me there's no way ever that LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers are getting swept in the NBA Finals. So, I have two conflicting ideas here. I have my heart and my head. Which one do I go against? I'm going to go with my head. I'm going to be smart. No one's ever told me that, I've never claimed to be one of the... I'm not a genius when it comes to NBA. So, I don't know what's telling me that there's no way the Cavaliers aren't going to get swept, but the Cavaliers aren't going to get swept. I don't think so. I'll only give them one game. There's no way they're winning more than one game. Not against the Warriors, not against the way they're playing right now. And I won't even give them the next game. The game tonight, I still think the Warriors are going to win. Game 1 in Cleveland. So Game 3 for the series, I'm still giving to Golden State. I'll give Game 4 to the Cavs at home, so they don't get swept 3-1. But just think about it here. Let's say that plays out. Let's play this whole situation plays out. Kevin Love doesn't play Game 3. Warriors come in, Quicken Loans Arena, win. Game 4, 3-0 lead for the Warriors. Game 2 at home for the Cavs. LeBron James, desperation mode. Kevin Love comes back, desperation mode. Kyrie Irving, desperation. And they win a game. They win a game. 3-1, Game 5, going back to Oakland in Oracle Arena. Warriors are playing in front of their home crowd, about to win. They have to win one more game to win an NBA Final, get a ring. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andrew Bogut, Sean Livingston, Barbosa, Iguodala, these guys, they all rally behind it. I mean, this is a team that won 73 games in the regular season in front of their home crowd. Game 5, 1 game to win at home. Can they do it? Heck yeah, they're going to do it. You can't stop that. So, I'll give the Warriors the series in 5 games. I'll give the Cavs 1 game at home. 4-1 in favor of the Warriors. The Cavs are not playing really well, and I don't see how it's going to happen. Now, if it's going to happen, it's going to have to be off the shoulders of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, and players like Channing Frye and J.R. Smith are going to have to get more involved. But I really don't think that. I think that translates to station. The Warriors are rolling, and there's nothing that's going to be stopping them, I don't think. But there you go. There's my NBA rundown. Pretty quick. I got a little ranty there about the Cavs, but that's all right. But the most exciting thing to happen, what really took me by surprise, how I'm emotionally invested in it now, where I I got to the point where I was listening to other things. I was listening to softball over like the NBA playoffs because it's so exciting. But the Women's College World Series softball, Auburn's in the national championship game. First time it's ever happened in Auburn's history. They're in the national championship game against Oklahoma. And I'll set the scene for you because not everybody keeps up with it. Here you go. Game 1. Oklahoma's coming in. You got Paige Parker at the mound. 30-game win streak for the Sooners. They've been there before. They've done it. They've been in the national championship game before. They know what's coming. Auburn's never been there before. Lexi Davis, senior, most wins in Auburn history, on the mound. And it's a pitcher's duel, really. Third inning, I believe it was, and Lexi Davis hangs one over the plate. Sooners make us pay, 3-run bomb, and that's all the scoring that happens in the entire game until the 7th inning. Top of the 7th, Auburn's the away team in that game. Top of the 7th, it's a 3-0 lead for the Sooners, and Auburn starts a little comeback. And just like Auburn always does in every sport, like I've been tweeting about for days, hard attack you, they managed to make a simple thing stressful. Get a couple runs across. 1 run, now it's 3-1. 2 runs, now it's 3-2. Maybe they can do it. Nah, they didn't do it. They didn't. They lost 3-2. Top of the 7th, they got 3 outs. Game over. Sooners win game 1. 31-game win streak. Paige Parker has pitched in, I'm pretty sure, every game for the Sooners. I'm actually pretty sure she pitched in every game. She's undefeated on the season. Her numbers are obscene. She just pitched in like a stupid amount of innings because she is their pitcher. She's their ace. She pitches all the time. And she got the win. 3-2. There you go. Game 2. Sooners got to win 1 game. Auburn's got to win game 2 to force a winner-take-all game 3. Auburn's the home team. Sooners open up. Error by Whitney Jordan, who I'll talk about in a little bit. Error by Whitney Jordan. Couple walks. Base hit later. Sooners score 1 in the first inning. Auburn comes up to bat. 1-2-3. First inning's done. 1-0. That's okay. No big deal. As an Auburn fan, we've accepted the fact that it's not going to be a 1-0 game. We're going to have to score more than 1 run to win this game, regardless of what happens. That's okay, no big deal. Second inning. Long story short, another error later by the same Whitney Jordan. It's 7-0. Sooners scored 6 runs in the second inning. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. That's okay. It's 7-0. No big deal. They're about to win a national championship. It's only the second inning. At this point, I'm thinking, softball has a run rule at 8 runs after 5 innings, and that's about to come into effect, and it's only the second inning. So it looks pretty bleak. But then things happen. The same Whitney Jordan, who had 2 errors. It's kind of, unfortunately for her, sparked the scoring by the Sooners. Whitney Jordan, with 2 runners on, hits a 3-run bomb. And she's not even known for her power. Whitney Jordan, who is the 3rd-string shortstop. Both are 2 other shortstops, Haley Fagan and Kelsey Bogards, who is Turtle. Her nickname is Turtle, and if you're familiar with Auburn softball team, they play for Turtle. They're playing for Kelsey. She got injured. It appeared to be season-ending injury. Actually got better towards the end of the season, the regular season, started playing a little bit more, and re-injured the same knee, and she's definitely out for the rest of the season. And she's a senior, so she's done. So the team is kind of rallying behind her, play for Turtle. So her replacement, Whitney Jordan, not known for her power, hits a 3-run bomb, 7-3, and Auburn just starts chipping away at the school at that lead. And Tiffany Howard hit a deep hit. Next thing you know, scores a little bit closer, 7-6. Then one thing leads to another. Casey Cooper walks up to the plate. I completely lost my train of thought there. Casey Cooper walks to the plate, solo home run shot like she's done 100 times already. Not surprised seeing Casey Cooper hit a home run, solo shot, tie game, 7-7. What do you know? And then late in the game, 7-7, same score. Oklahoma player, cannot remember who it was, hits a bomb. An absolute bomb. I mean, we're talking about no doubt home run. Or is it? Tiffany Howard, outfielder, left fielder, leadoff hitter, one of the faster players on the team, goes out to the wall, jumps to the wall, and just snags the ball right over the wall. Actually, I have ESPN Sports Center on right here in my apartment, like I pretty much always do. And just a few minutes before I started recording, they were doing the top 10, and it was the number 1 play. So number 1 play on Sports Center top 10 was Tiffany Howard's catch at the wall. Saved it. Would have given them the lead, and that was, I believe, in the 7th inning. So that was huge. And then ends up going to extra innings, 7-7. Thanks to Tiffany Howard, it did go to seven innings. Sooners go up to bat. Nothing happens. 1-2-3. Auburn comes up. A couple walks, a base hit, and then the bases are loaded. For senior Emily Carasoni, steps up to the plate, lets it rip. Oh my God! Walk-off hit, but not only a walk-off hit, a walk-off grand slam, grand salami for Emily Carasoni. We win Game 2 in spectacular fashion, 11-7. Largest comeback in Women's College World Series history. Largest comeback in Auburn history. And series tied 1-1, going to a winner-take-all Game 3 in Oklahoma City tonight at 7 o'clock. The game will be on at the same time as the NBA Finals. I'm conflicted. I don't know what I'm going to watch. But, oh my goodness, that game. I sit there. Oh. They take everything out of you. I had nothing left. I was sitting there in the studio listening to that, and I was exhausted. I was sweating. I was nervous. My heart was beating out of my chest. When Emily Carasoni hit that, I just ran. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have any idea. I just kind of, I went blind for a minute, and I just ran. Just running around in circles screaming. It's absolutely insane. I almost ran to Toomer's Corner, and then I realized we can't roll Toomer's Corner yet. But that's probably where I was going. It was all just auto. I just went on autopilot. Absolutely insane. I was probably going to go down as, especially if Auburn manages to win tonight. Excuse me. If Auburn manages to win tonight, it's probably going to go down as one of the best games in College World Series history. If I had to guess, it was absolutely insane comeback. Honestly, I cannot believe they did it. It was absolutely incredible. Oh. Man, just talking about it now gets me all amped. I'm just amped for this game, man. Woo! It's going to be a good one. But it's Emily Carasoni, it's Casey Cooper. It's the leadership of this team. It's the bats. It's Auburn. It's always been a scoring team, and they play consistently. and they score consistently, and there's no quit on this team. They come back. Situations everybody thinks they're out. Against Georgia earlier in the Women's College World Series, they were down 3 runs. They were down 2 runs in the 7th inning, and they scored 3 to win late. They just keep coming back. They don't quit, and I love it. I love the way they play. It's inspiring. It's awesome. It's amazing. They do not give up. It's just incredible. Wow, that was an awesome game. Goodness, I'm excited for this next one. I'm just so excited. Game 3 preview, I guess. I'll do my best. It's anyone's guess who's going to be on the mound for Auburn. They don't really release that till right before the game starts. Auburn, unlike Oklahoma, pitches by committee. Auburn has 5 pitchers on their pitching staff who all play almost equally between Walters, Carlson, Harper, Davis, and Michaela Martin, the freshman. Who's going to start? It's anyone's best guess. I don't know. I think I'm going to go Lexi Davis. She's going to get the start. Will she be the only pitcher in that game? Unless she's pitching incredibly, which she has the potential to do. She is Auburn's all-time win leader. Can she have the potential to pitch the entire game? Yes, of course she does. She's that good. Will she? I doubt it. Auburn, we have 5 pitchers. This is the last game of the season, regardless of what happens. And why not put in multiple people? So I expect them to pitch by committee tomorrow night. Tonight. I keep saying tomorrow night. Tonight, as they have done all season. But I'm going to go Davis for the start, but it could be anybody. Don't be surprised if it is. And for Oklahoma, they have 3 pitchers on their staff. One who's pitched like a couple innings, another one's pitched like 60 innings, and the other one's pitched over 200 because she's the ace. She pitches in almost every game. She pitches the entire game almost regardless of what happens. And that is Paige Parker. She pitched in Game 1, did not pitch in Game 2, which honestly took me for a surprise and took almost everybody for a surprise. And I almost assumed they thought they'd get win in Game 2. If they didn't get the win in Game 2, made sure that Parker was good and rested for Game 3, and I fully expect her to pitch and start in Game 3 and then pitch the entire game for what she's done all season. She's a sophomore, and she already has almost more wins than Lexi Davis, who's been pitching at Auburn for 4 years. She plays that much, and she's that good, and she deserves to play that much. It's going to be a good matchup. It has the potential to be a pitcher's duel or a run parade. Game 1 was a pitcher's duel. Game 2 was just runs after runs. Auburn scored 11 unanswered runs to win. It was absolutely incredible. It's going to be exciting. I don't know what to expect with this game, and I don't really think anybody does. Auburn has all the momentum going into this game, though, which is good for Auburn, and Auburn plays well with their backs against the wall. It does stink that Auburn's going to be the away team for this. I assume they'll be the away team. I don't know if they flip the coin. I don't really know, but they were the away team the first game, home team the second game. So logic says they'll be the away team in the third game, which stinks. Home team definitely does have an advantage. It also stinks because we're playing Oklahoma, and the Women's College World Series is in Oklahoma City, which is about 20 miles outside of Norman, Oklahoma. So it's a home game for Oklahoma. So that does kind of stink, but whatever. This Auburn team, they don't care, so I don't care. They're not quitting, so I have faith in them. I have no guess for what's going to happen. It's just going to be chaos, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be one heck of a game, and just don't miss it. Just don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. It was incredible, and I just listened to it on the radio. I was actually in the studio with some Weagle, fellow Weagle studio people, radio people, and we were listening to the radio, listened to Big Time Britt Browen on the call, and man alive, we were freaking out. But that's all I have for the show today. Take 3 recording went really well. Hopefully it doesn't crash here when I finish it off, but that's all I have for today. Follow me on Twitter if you'd like. I tweet a lot. I retweet a lot. but I tweet a lot about whatever sports I'm watching, specifically whatever's going on right now, whatever my focus is in on that moment. So if you want to keep up, just keep track of what I'm watching, what I'm keeping up with, follow me on Twitter. That's at Carter_Gustin. Check out my website as well, CarterGustin.com. Spent some time designing that, working it. I really like it. It's really cool. That's where all these will be going. So if you're watching this, seeing this, hearing this, then you've probably been there, and you're probably there right now. Also, I have my radio show. As always, I did it all last semester. I'm doing it this summer as well. It's a different show. It's me and Noah, the Ocho Gardner, fellow Weagle Sports Radio Talk Show host. We do a show on Mondays and Fridays, both at 3 o'clock, Water Cooler Talk. It's very similar to this show. We just kind of talk about whatever's going on. The other day, we had a good discussion about our favorite mascots and our least favorite mascots and the weirdest mascot. It was funny. We have a good time, so check that out on Friday at 3 as well as every Monday at 3. That's Water Cooler Talk. If you want to listen to that. If you're in Auburn, that's 91.1 Weagle FM. If you're somewhere else, you can Google it. Just Google Weagle Radio. You can listen online. There's a link on my website under the About Me page. But that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoy the show as much as I love giving it. This is so much fun. I really love it. But that's all I have. My name is Carter Gustin, and I am signing off. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. See you guys.